Hello, I'm Martin and this is 3D Printing Iceland. This is a third part of a series of assembling the Prusa MK2S printer. So far everything has been going very well, and I haven't had any issues, just small plastics that I had to carve out for one nut, but everything else has been fitting very nice together. So in this video I'm gonna finish the electronics and the heated bed, and then hopefully I will be able to run the calibration as a final step in this assembly. So I'll just carry on from the extruder assembly where I left off the last video. I had a little problem fitting the nut for the power supply in here. It is a very tight fit to press in the nut, but what I did was put it at the end of the screw and had the screw almost guiding with the hole, and then just tapping on the and then it goes straight in. I had problems when I had the nut just at the end, and it wasn't guiding correctly in. So if you put the nut away on the, like almost all the way, then it is guided by the hole on the other side, and then you can hammer it in. So that was just a small problem I had, but it wasn't hard to figure out what to do. Now I've done the power supply and the heated bed, so the only thing left is the electronics. The S version has a better design on the box. People were complaining it was very difficult to fix the box to the frame, but they made a design change on the box. This box, if you can see, don't know if you can see it very well. There are fine strings. This is the the first printed part. You can see here also are very fine strings. This is the first printed part that I have seen any defects like this, so I'll just clean this up a little bit, but this is not a problem. It just was yeah, this is just the first part that was not like perfect out of the box, so I'll just clean this up and this is non-issue. So yeah, so now the electronics, it's I don't know if it's a good YouTube material to see the wiring, but hopefully you'll have some view of the cables. It's very difficult to get a good camera angle and also for me to see what I'm doing, but hopefully you can learn something and see how everything goes together. Yeah. Here is step 8 for the electronics. This is the only bag that doesn't have the parts listed with this diagrams of every screw. It just had a small bag with those screws and the nuts, and I think it's in the manual it explains everything, but this is the only difference between the packaging in step 8 and from every other step when they line out every screw and every part. So it's not an issue, but I just wanted to note it down. So now the build is complete. Now I just have to power everything on and calibrate and check if everything is working. The build process was, I don't know, it took some time, but I didn't have any special problems, just small issues fitting one nut or two. The cable management was quite easy with the new box for the electronics. I've seen a lot of videos with the older build. People are having trouble with the electric box, and this is solved, so it was really easy to just connect everything and then just snap on the box at the end. So this will conclude the build video series. Now I'm gonna just do the calibration, and that will just take some time. I don't think it's a good material for a video, but I will do some talks after after the calibration. So for now, I thank you for watching this build series. It will be a has been a 3-part series, and hopefully you have learned something, and this will help you building your printer. I think the overall experience was quite pleasing. The one thing that I was quite surprised of how small the extruder and the nozzle and everything there was. I haven't seen an extruder before on a printer like this, so it was a few things that I didn't expect. When I've been watching YouTube videos, the sizing of things is very difficult to get a grasp of, but now I've got through this, and I think I'm quite happy with the time spent. So for now, I just thank you for watching, and I will get back to you when I've done the calibration. Well, now I got the printer printing. I had to adjust the printer probe a little bit. I had to do several times the V10 calibration code to get the first layer height correct, but that is just minor issues. I got the bed, it was said it was slightly skewed. It wasn't perfect, but the manual says it's just X, Y, Z calibration all right. X, Y axes are slightly skewed. Good job. So the software will adjust for this. So I'll just leave it as is. I might at a later time find out what exactly that means and what to do to get that perfect. But I think the software takes care of it. So I have this Batman sign printing, and it looks really good. Just the first layer, I had to adjust, like I said, the printer probe a little bit. The live C adjust now is around 720. At first it was like 1500, so I had to adjust the probe. But so far everything has been just wonderful. I haven't had any real problems. The part cooling fan was connected the wrong way, but when the self-test ran, it just did a test on the fans, and I had to test the front and the side fan, and when the fan didn't spin, it just told me to check the wires, and it was just a mistake. I think I was looking at the board upside down when I was comparing to the diagram in the first try, so that was just minor issue. When I was doing the first calibration, I had the printer probe incorrectly, so I had the paper underneath the nozzle, and this spot here in the middle on the side, I wasn't watching very closely, so the nozzle started to rub on the bed, and it made a little indent in the sheet, but it's maybe half a millimeter deep or something. I don't think it will be an issue. But that was just my fault, not paying attention enough. I had the paper on top of the bed, and I wasn't just watching very closely. But other than that, everything has been going well. I'm gonna finish this print now, and this will conclude my build series on this printer. Probably tomorrow I will do some more prints, and maybe do a little follow-up on but now the time is 1 o'clock in the night, 1 o'clock a.m. So I'm just gonna finish this 20-minute Batman print and then go to bed. So I'll see you tomorrow. I'll do a little follow-up on the build notes. I'm probably gonna take some notes and make a final video of the build, and if I have anything to add to my current video clips. So I hope you have enjoyed this build series, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, this is a small update on the setup. I'm gonna put this video just at the end of the maker video of the Prusa. I did a small setup change. I moved the laptop over here to the table and the mic to the other end, so now I have this part of the table free, and I switched the door on the case, so now it's open in the other direction, and I got this concrete block to put the printer on. When I put the printer in the case I made earlier, the noise just was like it was a bass box. The volume of the printer was quite high, so I found this concrete block outside my house and got that to reduce the noise. And on this table the noise went significantly lower when the concrete block was underneath, so the vibration don't get so much into the table. So that's one change I'm gonna put in. When I have this space underneath the printer, the spool holder on top is too high for the case I made, so I designed a new spool holder I'm gonna put inside the case on the side. I'm gonna print that out, and I found out that I could make 2 or 3 spool holders to have inside the case where the printer resides normally, and then I can then I don't have to make a hole in the case for the spool holder to be on top. So that will be a good thing. So I just wanted to show you, this is my third print. This is my great grandfather head is printing. You can probably see his face forming. I had this as a plaster cast on my wall, and I took a lot of pictures of it and created a 3D model that I'm now printing out of the head, so I can have more people in my family having this head of our great grandfather. So that will be a project to print out for people if they want it. Yeah, and I did a Batman logo yesterday, and also a 3D scan of myself last night. Then when I came home from work today, my 12-year-old son had got the printer started, and he actually printed out another copy of the head I made without me knowing. I was in the same time not very fond of him messing around with the printer before I showed him how to operate the printer, but still was pretty impressed that he could just find out how to print out a model from the SD card, and he got it off the build plate without damaging anything. And so that was quite nice also to have him be able to operate the printer without any help. So he can print out his own models at some point when I have to show him how to export the models he has made in Fusion 360, so he can use a slicer to generate the decode. I still have to show him that part, but he has been able to do his own models in Fusion 360 now for some weeks, so that will be interesting to see how it goes for him. Yeah, so this was just a short update. I plan to print out more prints and do like a final build notes video. Probably do that after a few days when I've printed out more things. So see you maybe after a few days. Thank you.